Holly. If you're new here and if you're returning, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about shin splints, some of the worst pain, the most naggy, annoying pain as a runner. Especially my new runners, you guys deal with this a lot. I have my whole routine today. I'm going to share every step that I take when I get shin splints, but I'm also happy to report I have not had them in years, including during both 100-mile runs. Did not experience shin splints during these. Meaning, I am finishing the video with my #1 form tip that's going to help you never get them again. Let's jump in. All right, you guys, first thing in my routine, I'm going to grab 2 mobility balls. They can be mismatched in size. The bigger the better, honestly, but whatever you've got. So you can come down here and do this with me now, or just kind of listen as I explain, and then you can go do it on your own time. But we're gonna put the largest of the balls right under your calf, laterally, it's the lateral outside here of the shin, right below the knee, this way. The top ball goes on the other side of the calf, just on the outside of the shin here, just like that. And we're gonna now circle, flex, and point, just move around in the ankle joint of this leg. So I'm gonna put pressure here, and then I might even use a hand or something to lift this bottom leg up so I have space to circle and flex and point, but I don't need to either. It's okay, I can just slide on the ground. And we're just gonna work on the tissue and the calf on the outside of the shin here. So all that muscle right around. As we do this, I'm gonna explain the benefits of this. So a lot of our shin splints come from extra pressure and force if we're landing really forward on our feet. And that can happen for a lot of reasons, but for most of us, it's due to tight calves, tight ankles. When everything's super locked up, we tend to not be able to kiss the heel to the ground when we run, which I'll talk about that later. It pushes us forward on our toes, and oftentimes the tightness here and here keeps us in this tilted position. If we pair that with hips dropped back behind us and we're hunched over as well, it is a lot of force down on the shins. And I wanna remind you guys, a run versus a walk, when you're running, you are landing with a lot more force. I think they say it's like 3 times your body weight is what you're coming down on that leg with. Don't quote me on that, but you get the gist. So what we're doing here is we're just breaking up the tissue, the tightness here, giving some range of motion with a little added pressure up here. It tends to help to massage while you are flossing, is what they call it, through the area that is tight. So this is gonna sound a lot like word salad at times, but just stay with me here. So we're just working through. A really good example of this working too would be like if you guys use the mobility ball under a shoulder blade, do some snow angels on that, and you feel the release in your neck. Same thing here, we're trying to get release in our ankles, around our shins, so it doesn't feel so compact on that spot. Because the worst thing about shin splints is it's this everlasting soreness that just feels like it's super, super compressed no matter what you do when you're in the thick of the pain. So I'm gonna have you guys move this a little lower now too, and we'll go closer to the mid shin on the outside. This is lower here, kind of right in that fold, right under the largest part of the calf. And same thing, I'm just gonna look for those knots. What is tight? What is making it so that I can't have my full foot on the ground when I land, which I'll explain later in the video, allows my bigger muscles to take over a lot of that shock absorption, taking some pressure off the shins. As I said at the beginning of the video, I have not struggled with shin splints in a long time. And while this does work to get rid of your pain, I don't want you guys to even need this video again, ideally in the future. So just up and down, we're just circling. If you find that a lot of your tightness is closer to the knee, you can actually even go slightly higher. And sometimes with this one, I will kind of lean over that side, maybe not circle the ankle, but just with some extra pressure. And it's great. You can really uncover some problem areas that you probably didn't even know existed. Let's switch to the other side. Same thing. Big ball goes below. This is also great to compare, and we'll start with that circling. Side to side. If you have one leg that does a lot more than the other leg, one shin splint's worse than the other. It's all about discovery. One thing I was taught by Kelly Starrett, really amazing physical therapist. He's just written so many good books and has so many tools for this mobility work and how it can fix you, is he talks about what we do that we don't know about, and we only know if we do regular mobility work. This is basically like the looking under the hood of the car, finding things before they're major problems. If you do this regularly, you might even be able to find, before they even exist, the shin splint problem. So you might start to unpack some problems and not let them get too bad, and then you never get the shin splints. Good, so we'll move this down. And pressure here. Again, just a little flex and point, circling. My left is not as bad as my right. I love this calf sandwich situation too, because you can use the top ball to, against the bottom one, it actually feels like it can get deeper than just your like fingers alone, just self-massaging. So that's always good without so much effort. I know rolling out can feel like its own workout sometimes, but just like this, good. All right. And you can see I mix up if I have the balls stacked right over top. I usually like to start that way, but then I'll move them around, etc. So that's step one in the routine. Spend about 3 minutes per side. This is always what I start with, just to get a good look at where the pain's kind of originating from, where that tightness exists already. All right, so step two, we get rid of the balls. I'm gonna have you guys kind of work through the pain now. This might feel counterintuitive a little bit, but I like to actually work the area that's hurt. Good example, I've been dealing with a hurt shoulder right now, and I've been doing exercises into the range of motion, even if it's painful, just to get some blood flow there and to help repair a little quicker, because then we're gonna drain things out after. So you'll lose my head right here, but I'm gonna show you what we're doing next. You're gonna just stand, and you're gonna have your feet about hips width here, and we're gonna just start with some heel raises. Just lifting up and lowering, up and down. This might not even feel too bad since we just rolled out, but I like to just start to work the lower legs by themselves. Now from here, when I lower the heels, I'm gonna rock back and lift my toes up. So the shins start to get a little work here. And I know when you have shin splints, this is agonizingly painful. It just sucks. Feels like you're adding to the problem, but trust me on this. The key to fixing this pain is opening up the tight areas and strengthening the weak areas. So we need everything to be working together so that you're not doing every bit of your run with your shins. We need to spread this out, but make sure they're strong enough to work when we need them. So here we go one more time. And now I'm gonna have you guys, just across the screen you'll see, I'm just gonna take a few toe walks, just like this. One more pass. Stay with me, I know this might be burning a lot. And now we're gonna switch a set of heel walks here. Bending those knees a little. Good. Coming back. Just like that. Awesome. So just like when you sprain your ankle, something like that, we all know that the PT for that involves strengthening around the ankle after. So this is just a good look at what we can do to also help the shins be stronger in the face of shin splints. That is step two for you. All right, so step three, we're gonna get the blood out of the lower leg now. We're just gonna drain it out a little bit, give ourselves some relief on this part that's just feeling so swollen, so beat up. I like to go hips up against the wall and then get my legs up so I can drain out of the feet. So I get my butt as close as I can to the wall. I relax the feet up against, hands can be wherever, and I will be here about 5 to 10 minutes, totally up to you, whatever you have time for. But this is a nice thing to do, just get blood coming out of the feet, out of the lower legs, and then just give some relief. So we just got all the blood there, we're trying to repair, and now we are just trying to get it out of there and like minimize the throbbing feeling. That endless pain that we can't seem to shake when we've got the major part of the shin splint. So we'll just hang out here. I'm not gonna do the whole 5 to 10 right now, but you get the gist. I love doing this actually after a day of travel, once you get to the hotel or Airbnb, whatever, on the bed, just lay legs up the wall if there's space for it and just drain that blood out. Already feels better even literally after that minute. That is step three. Super important PSA for those of you guys in the trenches of your shin splint problems right now. 10 out of 10 pain when you're standing, walking, running. You want to find that little dance, that balance between working through the pain with a little bit of training, working on the actual problem in repair and recovery, and then of course that full rest where we stay off of it, maybe a little ice, ibuprofen, anything else you've gotten from a doctor that they've told you to use in getting rid of the pain. But it's important here to look at the trend of your pain over a few days and not just in that specific moment. I usually know something's getting better if by day 3 I'm thinking about that pain less across the course of the day. So that's what I recommend for that. You want to keep a little bit of training going typically just to keep working on building the muscles around that will help minimize the pain, as I said. And you want to just be careful as you do so you're not overdoing it and never getting rid of them completely. And finally, guys, this right here is why I think I haven't had shin splints in many years now, and I hope this works for you. If it doesn't, I will definitely do a follow-up video. So like I was saying, when the ankles are tight, calves are tight, everything, and our hips might even be back, we end up running very forward over the toes. We might just be up on the toes the whole time. If you add some incline to that, where you've got even more pressure coming against your body and pavement on top of that, all of it together can create a lot of impact on an already very tight leg. If we are loose, if we are ready to go, we're strong on each individual leg, we have a lot better shot holding up against all of those forces. We really want to put ourselves in a position to be able to run so long in the same form, and the way we do that is by using our large muscles. So here's what we're going to do. You guys are going to start by just bringing one knee up to your chest and dropping it. We're just standing in place, one knee up and down, just like this. One more time. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing with a butt kick. Up and down, same leg. Getting that hamstring working. Good. Now we're going to do something right between the two. We're going to come right up number 4 and lower it. Up number 4, lower it. The key here is keeping your ankle loose as you bring that foot up. Trust that it's going to hit right in the middle of the foot, right here as you come down under the hip. It's very tempting to decide how we're going to place our foot. That's how we're sold it in running stores. Are you a heel striker? Do you strike with your toe? We come from a place of how our foot is contacting the ground. That's not sustainable. We can't be thinking like that 20 miles into a run. Trust me. We need to be thinking from higher up, top down I should say, and then the feet will follow in the most efficient way possible. Good. We're going to switch to the other side. Go high knee up here. Good. Even here we can start to loosen the ankle, relax to hit. Perfect. And then we're going to go butt kick here. I know I am very wordy today, but hopefully it's making sense. We are in control of how we land, and the better positions we have and the more we work with our larger muscles, the less pressure is going to be on those shins and we won't be in that pain. Good. Number 4, right up the middle here. Let's go loose ankle, drop right down. Almost like a slam. Perfect. Good. One more. Awesome. So when we do a small version of that number 4, we access the glutes, hamstrings, quads help a little bit there, but we are picking our feet up nice and small right under our hips. While we push our hips forward, now we're moving in one piece. We can get up any hill that way, flat, downhill, etc. So we'll just take a little jog in place so you guys can feel it. And I want you to go into that number 4, so exaggerate, relax the ankles as you land. Good. And now try to make that smaller. Now you might be thinking, how am I supposed to take that forward without leaning, without getting my hips back to get myself forward? You actually use your hips and the angle of your ankles, which is a lot looser from what we did, to lean forward and keep your feet moving fast. So you're in a slight incline, or slight lean forward from the ankles with the hips forward to take us into that little run. And we know we can count on our glutes and hamstrings because the hips are under us. When they're behind us, things get heavy on the front of the leg real quick. We also aren't able to last as long. Low back blows up. We don't feel like we can keep our chest up. This is rounded forward. Even our traps get sore. So stay with me here, guys. We're almost there. We're going to start with some high knees right here in place. Go ahead and go to those butt kicks. Go to that number 4 right here, loose ankles. And then a little number 4. And then I want you to pretend that I'm behind you, pushing your hips forward. And then run it forward. Good. Just like this. That is the gist of how I want you guys to run. So many ways to practice this, and I do not want your next run to just be hyper fixated on this form. Choose 1 or 2 minutes every 10 to 20 minutes of your run. Little chunks of practice, then go back to not thinking about it. Practice, go back to not thinking about it. But when you start adopting this form and you really use it on every run, uphill, flat, downhill, any terrain, you will notice pressure comes off those shins. We aren't so focused on the ankle. We've got that space. As I said, I really recommend using the mobility balls, even just to keep things loose and look under the hood of the car. Make sure you don't have problems coming down the line. But this is going to be ultimately what gives you that power for miles and miles and miles. I use this form religiously, and I really do swear by it. I hope I've helped you guys in some way today, whether it was eliminating pain you already have or helping you prevent it in the future. This is just my routine. It's worked for me, and as I said, it's helped keep shin splints away for many years now. Let me know if you need anything else on this subject or another subject by dropping a comment. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.